Charlie just speculated and, by the way, observed Ruoli's reaction. Unexpectedly, as soon as these words came out, Ruoli's body trembled uncontrollably. At this moment, Charlie immediately understood in his heart that he was right. This girl is the illegitimate daughter of Xin. No wonder. No wonder the Su family was willing to spend so much effort to rescue her from the Japanese judicial department. It turns out that this girl is the flesh and blood of Xin. Interesting. Ruoli was already shocked at this time. She didn't expect that the man in front of her would guess her true identity in such a short time. You know, the entire Su family, there are only two people who know her true identity. One is her biological father, Xin, and the other is her grandfather, Chengfeng. Even Zhufei and Ziyu didn't know that the girl who had been acting as bodyguards by their side was actually their sister. And Xin's original wife, even more ignorant. Ruoli was very afraid of the man in front of her and stabbed this matter out. In that case, her father's reputation would suffer a huge blow. Thinking of this, she immediately had a plan to die deep in her heart, and she thought to herself sadly, as long as I live, I will be Xin's daughter. No matter how I deny it, his blood is flowing in my body. But, if I die, no one can claim that I am the daughter of Xin. Even if this man exposes my identity, because I'm dead, my father can firmly deny my identity. It seems that only when I am dead can I become less of a liability, and can keep the secret of my identity forever. At this point, she immediately said to Charlie pleadingly, "Please, kill me. Or you can let go of my hand and let me end it by myself." Charlie smiled and said, "How is it possible? Not only will I not kill you, but I also will not let you commit suicide." Ruoli asked in horror, "What are you going to do?" Charlie smiled and said, "Little girl, don't be afraid, I will take you home. You must be very wrong for so many years of hiding the secret of your identity. Don't worry, I will help you get back the identity of Su family. Let you enjoy everything you should have enjoyed long ago." No. Ruoli immediately broke down and cried, crying in silence, "I have killed countless people and committed serious crimes. You should treat the people as the people and give me a happy." With that, she tried her best to break free from Charlie's hand. However, Charlie's hand seemed to be frozen, and she couldn't shake it at all. Seeing her desperately seeking death, Charlie became more and more interesting, and deliberately ridiculed, "If a beautiful girl like you is dead, it would be a shame. How could I do this kind of cruelty and brutality?" Ruoli looked at Charlie and choked with horror. "What do you want to do?" Charlie smiled and said, "I think it is very simple, take you back to the country, disclose your identity, and let your dad give you an upright name. Isn't that good?" "I don't want." Ruoli's tears became a thread, and her other hand began to desperately try to break Charlie's fingers. Her eyes were aggrieved and horrified, and said, "I'm doing this good. I don't want to be the eldest lady of the Su family. I don't want to cause them any trouble. I beg you, kill me, and then throw me into the sea." Charlie asked back, "Why? Your father gave birth to you and asked him to admit that your identity is justified. Why would it cause him trouble in your eyes?" Although Ruoli was in tears, she still said stubbornly, "I don't want to cause trouble to him, nor do I want to cause trouble to my mother." Charlie smacked his lips. "Tisk, you are really strange. You can kill dozens of people for the Su family without blinking, but now you don't want to cause any trouble to the Su family. How can you be so selfless to the Su family? Where is this dedication coming from?" Ruoli was speechless when asked by Charlie. The reason for this dedication is because of the brainwashing education she has experienced since she was a child. She firmly believes that she should give everything for the Su family and her father, even her life. However, in this case, she naturally couldn't tell Charlie. So she could only continue begging in tears, "Sir, although my life is very short, I have hardly begged anyone. Today I beg you once, please give me a good time and stop torturing me, okay? Please." Charlie shook his head and said coldly, "I'm sorry, you can't die now." At this moment, in the cockpit of the other ship, the captain and sailor were already stunned. They really couldn't understand why Ruoli only had a trick with that man, and she stood still and couldn't move as if she had been cursed. Moreover, she nodded, shook her head for a while, and cried bitterly for a while. To the people on the boat, this scene was a bit too magical. The captain immediately took out the satellite phone and called a domestic number. On the phone, he explained what happened here in detail, and then heard the order on the phone. He nodded hurriedly and said, "Okay, I get it. I will do what you want." After that, he hung up the phone and said coldly, "Hurry up and notify Mr. Kylo that he has a new order." A sailor by his side quickly turned around and ran to the bottom cabin of the cruise ship. There is a locked door in the bottom cabin. He knocked on the door and shouted, "Mr. Kylo, the captain asked me to tell you that the master has a new order." A man's gloomy voice came from the room. "Okay, I will come up now." As soon as the voice fell, the door was opened. A middle-aged man with triangular eyes and a hooked nose carries a specially customized heavy composite crossbow in his hand. The composite crossbow is the most powerful of all crossbow weapons, and the power of a single crossbow even exceeds that of a gun. Professional hunters like to use heavy composite crossbows to hunt large prey, such as wild boars with thick skins. Ordinary pistols and light rifles, bullets hit the wild boar. It is difficult to penetrate the wild boar's skin covered with pine oil and mud, and even the bullet may refract on the wild boar's skin. However, if the heavy composite crossbow is used well, it can shoot the wild boar through with one arrow. Its power is not inferior to the heavy sniper rifle. What's even more powerful is that the composite crossbow has a long range and high accuracy. When paired with a sniper scope, it can be used for long-distance sniping, and it is no less than a sniper rifle. The composite crossbow is not only powerful and accurate, but also has a great advantage, that is, the sound is extremely low, and it is especially suitable for assassination. More importantly, most countries in the world are gun-ban countries and have strict legal restrictions. It is even more difficult for ordinary people to get a pistol, let alone a sniper rifle. However, the composite crossbow does not have so many restrictions. For example, the composite crossbow that this person holds in his hand is a reinforced composite crossbow used in sports competitions. It is extremely powerful and can even pierce a bulletproof vest. A wonderful weapon for assassination. This person carried this composite crossbow and stepped onto the top cockpit. The captain said to him immediately, "Mr. Kylo, hurry up. Immediately kill the man on the opposite boat." The man glanced at Charlie and Ruoli on the opposite boat, with a sneer at the corner of his mouth, and said indifferently, "Isn't this the fucking target who is still motionless at such a close distance?" Having said that, he immediately opened a window and pointed the crosshair of the sniper mirror on the composite crossbow at the left temple of Charlie.